If you're tired of searching around trying to find tips that will actually help you get better here in Madden 26, this is going to be the perfect video for you, because in this video, I'm breaking down 5 updated tips that will take you from Joe to Pro overnight, so long as you actually implement all 5 of them into your next game. You're not going to miss out on anything I have for you in this video, so let's jump right into it. Perhaps the most important thing on defense is actually the ability to change things up and make adjustments as fast as possible. Let me show you the best way to get good with that. Alright, so the great thing about quick adjustments is it really doesn't matter the defensive play, defensive formation that you're using. First of all, you always want to start the play on a middle linebacker, typically. So here or here, right? Depending on the alignment of your formation. But let's just say, right, you're in cover 2. So realistically, they could just throw flood concepts at you all game, right? They could just do something like this, boom, and now they're gonna have a receiver wide open on the sideline. You just have to read the defender, right? So you see how they're dropping that far back, and now we just have Amara on the sideline. Or if I wanted to wait, I could have thrown that corner out. So if I told you, yeah, you can't run cover 2 versus this look, like you're gonna have to make some adjustments, right? Maybe one of those adjustments is moving this zone further back, right? You're gonna move this zone further back, and then you're gonna put a crow flat on the field, and now you have a much better coverage to be able to defend, a flood concept. So if we go with it again against this particular defense, what you're gonna notice is this is gonna be much more adept to be able to take away the underneath and then take away the corner out as it continues running up the field. So really, that's the adjustment, and I had to make those adjustments either at the line of scrimmage, or you can move your zone drops back. But really, how you're going to get better with that, because that's easy for a guy like me, right? But it's like, if you don't have fast fingers, that's the skill gap. You have to get better with these quick adjustments. So the best way to really get better with them is muscle memory. Y twice, Y or triangle, depending on your console, is going to open the secondary adjustments, right? D-pad right twice is going to open the linebacker adjustments. So you have normally, 1 to 4 linebackers depending on your formation. This one has 2. And then if you press D-pad right twice, you're going to be able to open the defensive line adjustment. So really, when you're able to combine, understanding all 3 of those, different, button commands, you're going to be able to make adjustments a whole lot faster. Like if I told you I want you to put a cover 3 now on this right side, well, now all I'd have to do, press Y twice, then press B, left stick up to put him in an outside third, press Y twice, then press LB, left stick left to put him in inside third, Y twice, then press A, left stick right to put him in a curl flat. So essentially, you're able to, they just build off of each other. Everything starts in the secondary with pressing Y twice. Everything starts at the linebacker level with D-pad right twice, and then D-pad left twice for the defensive line. So now it just becomes, muscle memory, because now the only thing you really have to remember is what button each defender is, which you're going to get better with that the more you do it. And then once you get clicked on him, which of these, adjustments do you make the most? Like for me, with outside corners, outside third, hard flat, cloud flat, soft squat, and custom zone. So I have those 5 button commands mastered pretty, quickly, and so I'm able to make them. Like I could even do this with my eyes closed. I can do it as fast as possible, right? Just because it just happens so fast and I do it so much. Also, I could man up the tight end as another adjustment if I wanted to do that. So there's so many different adjustments that you could possibly make, but you can't do this. You can't start here, click, 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 and you just misclick like 7 times before you actually get onto the right defender. Then you press A and you're trying to find what adjustment to make. You need to get quicker with it by mastering those quick adjustments. So again, D-pad right twice, linebackers, D-pad left twice, defensive line, Y or triangle twice is going to open the secondary. And just like that, you're going to be a whole lot better with your quick adjustments on defense and stop getting quick snap. All right, the next thing that every single top player has mastered is they have the best settings configured. You can't win games if you have the wrong settings, because your players could be out of place or all your passes might be inaccurate. Let me show you which ones to use right now. All right, so that first setting that I want to break down here is the offensive one. We're going to be talking about auto pass protection, when you want to use base and when you want to use empty. So we're going to put our auto pass protection here onto base, and we are going to call smash return. Now what you're going to notice is if we go ahead and call the Texas 4-man custom stunt right here, for example, right, so this could be from single mug. This particular formation is just nickel over, right? So What you're going to notice is this stunt is going to do a great job against base protection because these guys are going to loop around and they're just going to be able to collapse the pocket very, very quickly simply because of the particular stunt that we're calling. Now, a lot of people are going to call this against like stationary quarterbacks when they feel like their opponent doesn't really have the best opportunity to roll out, but you're just able to notice how we're just like, look how murky that pocket is, right? And we're not doing a great job up front blocking these guys because they're looping, twisting. And I would say this blitz is even better and a whole lot better actually, you know, from nickel single mug or nickel wide here than nickel over. But you're still seeing how if we're on offense, we're gonna struggle versus this, right? Just because you're able to see how Will Anderson, or excuse me, not Will Anderson, 51 right there though, he's looping around. Max Crosby does the same thing on the other side, and it can be a challenge for you. But really, the best way to counter, and this goes for a lot of stunts, particularly stunts where they're looping through the A gap. When you start to use empty protection, that's gonna, you know, be very beneficial for you now because it's really not going to be a whole lot of that. Now, understand though that, I mean, that time you clearly get more time to throw, but understand that you still have a collapsed pocket. Even if they run this stunt and you use empty protection, it can still be beneficial for them because they're not necessarily blitzing, they're just trying to collapse the pocket. So bottom line here, you know, you want to make sure if you're on defense, you're mixing this particular stunt in. But if you're on offense, you know, giving yourself a little bit extra time, using base protection is really the best way to do that. Because you see how now that guard, he actually like slides all the way over to block that looping guy. I'm telling you guys, if you use base protection, you're really not going to see that. You're just going to see these guys flying right through the A gap, right at your quarterback. Also understand though, that if you use like empty protection, for example, you can still just roll out on this stunt, right? Especially if you have a quarterback with, you know, high mobility. Jared Goff isn't exactly the best, you know, option for this, but you have a faster quarterback, you can certainly escape the pocket very quickly against these stunts. But bottom line here, again, base protection against standard rushes, no stunts, just regular rushes. But when you're playing against, for example, custom stunts, you know, double mug, that type of pressure, switch it over to empty protection to get much better blocking. But let me show you the best defense setting that confuses so many people. And that's going to be zone drop, because I would say that zone drop should change all throughout the game. You should be mixing in different zone drop depths, different zone drop types. But what you're gonna see here is I like to start the game on default 5 default. Really what that's going to do, it's gonna allow you to have, if you call it a cover 3, now your curl flats are going to be sitting at 5 yards because you have your curl flats on 5 to defend the underneath. Now, there's other situations, right? If you're going to run match coverage, you have to have all 3 of them on default, right? You call cover 6, you call cover 4 palms, you call cover 3 buzz mabel, anything like that. You have to have all 3 zone drop depths on default. But really, everyone struggles with corner routes. It's really the most asked question in any, you know, community here for Madden. How do you stop corner routes? This is a great way to do that. You're going to put your flats on 25, your blue zones. You're going to put your curl flats on 5, and you're going to call a cover 2. Now what you're going to notice is your, you know, blue zones are going to play all the way back here, and then your curl flat, you're going to put your slot corner in a curl flat. So now it's going to look something like this, where you're going to have your man dropping all the way back. You're going to put your slot corner in a curl flat, and so when they call a flood concept like this, you're going to see how the corner out, we're just running down there, breaking on that pass down the field easily, and then we have a 5-yard curl flat sitting underneath. That's going to do a great job of just taking away like a check down, like right here, a tight end zig. We're sitting right on this. So really, it's just making sure that you have your zone drops on, your curl flat on 5. Right here, you have your 25-yard flat zone here, blue zone. They take the snap, and you just see how when we go to throw that pass to Laporta, it's broken up because we have a guy sitting right there. So really, zone drops, like I said, depend on the situation, right? If you call maybe, you know, like I said, like you could run, you know, cover 2, reset the play, so now you're in match. And so now you have a mid-read. You could put soft spots on the field to defend corner routes. You can do a whole lot of different things, right? You're going to notice how when they call this particular play, we're basically just going to be latching onto this corner route and running the route for the guy, right? That's match coverage right there. I audible to a match coverage, cover 2 match. And I had all 3 zone drop depths on default. So it's like there's many different use cases for them, many different ways to stop corners, crossers, really everything. But zone drop, like I said, depend on the situation. Default 5 default's a great starting place, but really when you need to change things up and make adjustments, that's what I would do. Or you clicked on this video because you want to get better in defense. So at this point, you should go down below and hit that subscribe button, because I break down helpful defensive tutorials every single day for you guys on Madden 26. So you don't want to miss out on any of the content. But if you want all 5 of these tips in written form, the first 2 that I showed you and the next 3 that are to come, if you want them in written form to save in your phone during gameplay, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to join Madden University, where your first month's only going to be $1. You're going to get access to all of my written breakdowns for the month of April and beyond, and you get to ask me any question at any time in Discord. It's really no brainer. Your first month's only $1. So what are you thinking? Go down below and join today, and let's jump right back into the video, because that next defensive tip that I want to break down is a way to get free sheds every single time. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so we're gonna come here into nickel double mug. It's very important that you guys are using double mug and not 2-4 double mug, not 3-3 double mug, because you need to be able to get basically the shed glitch. And really what this is, if you come into your packages and you scroll to the 4 defensive end package, now, as the name entails, you're gonna have 4 defensive ends in the field. And as we know, defensive ends are normally a whole lot better with finesse move than power move. And then the advantage is you're gonna get your best defensive ends matched up with offensive guards. Guards play against nose tackles who have a lot more power move. So essentially, you're getting guys who are out of position, and they're also not going to take a ratings hit. As you can see, Max Crosby stays at his same overall, but if you try to move him to D-tackle to this spot where he's going to be, if you try to do that without this package, his overall is going to go down, and he's actually going to take a ratings hit. It's not just a visual glitch. So you really need to use the 4 defensive end package to kind of prevent that here. And so really what you're going to notice is he's going to be matched up with these guards. Also, something I would point out though is if you're going to call like any play from double mug, when you actually are sending 4 people and they block 5, they're going to be able to double team 1 guy, and so they're going to be probably able to double team one of your defensive tackles here, which really is one of your DNs at D tackle. But if you blitz this 5th player, now everyone's in a 1-on-1, and this is going to make the shed glitch even better. But really, it's just, you're just going to notice how, that time he just absolutely walks in clean. But it's like, the point is, you're glitching the offensive line. You're basically just changing their targeting here so that you can have one of your best players who doesn't take a ratings hit against a guy who's kind of inept to block him. Like, he's just really not in the position. You see how fast Max Crosby sheds. Now, obviously having better pass rushers is going to make this even better. But Max Crosby against, they might have a superstar at tackle, right? For example, they have Penei Sewell right here, one of the best players in the game. Max Crosby would normally be going against him, but when you move him inside, he's going to be playing against 69, right? Just easy shed. And it's not just him, because this is our 2nd best pass rusher. And what you're going to notice is he's going to get a shed. And then the D tackle is going to be able to shed. So it's really like you're just going to, have these free sheds all over the field. And so it's really going to be a whole lot easier for you to get pressure. We're going to take the snap again, boom, shed, and you should get to notice how time and time again you're going to be able to get these really fast, really routine sheds on the quarterback, simply because you have guys on the field that just really shouldn't be playing against them, right? You have 69 right here. He just immediately gets shedded. Same thing over here, right, with this guy, boom, immediately shed, and now we have the quarterback down. So really, it's just kind of a cool glitch, right? It's just you're switching your package to get your best players matched up against guys who they really shouldn't be playing against. You have defensive ends at defensive tackle. You're going to shed the offensive guards a whole lot faster because they're not used to playing against them. And again, you can actually only do this from nickel double mug. All right, before I jump to those final 2 tips that you're absolutely not going to want to miss here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. I'm the only one right now breaking down Madden 26 tips and tricks to get you guys better every single day. You don't want to miss out on any of the content I have. But let's jump into those final 2 tips. Which that next one is going to be how to speed boost here in Madden 26. It's really the most overpowered ball carrier move, and in order to become really good here in this game and start winning more games, you need to start taking advantage of it. Let me show you how. All right, so we're gonna come here into 0-1 trap from Y off trio close here. This is a great example of a good run play. Now, clearly there's no defense in the field. I will put one on the field here in a second, but I'm just trying to show you how overpowered this move is when you have like super elusive guys, like Jahmyr Gibbs is probably the best booster I've used, besides Brian Thomas Jr. for the Jaguars. But this guy is absolutely insane, because if we come into our coaching, we come into our depth chart, and we look at Jahmyr Gibbs. 98 speed, 93 agility, right? 92 change of direction. It's like, and he has 94 spin, 96 juke, like everything is on point as far as this guy's ability to move with the ball. And you want all of those to be obviously as high as possible, but really once you get above 90, you're good to go. As soon as you take the handoff, you're gonna be boosting, and you just see how, I mean, he's just gonna be gliding all over the field. And so really this becomes extremely effective in franchise mode and mud, where every player can boost, because it's not just, you know, gonna be handoffs, right? If I were to put Jahmyr Gibbs on an angle route right here, throw the ball to him, and now I'm just gonna be able to speed boost after the catch. So you see how, boom, I'm gliding. You can also change this up with like spin moves. Now I think the spin move isn't as good in this game as it is in college, but you know, whatever. It's like, if you can change stuff up with like spins, jukes, and stuff, that could be effective. But right out of the handoff, all right, as soon as you pass the line of scrimmage, you're tapping, or you're holding right trigger, then you're gonna tap left trigger, and then obviously you're already holding left stick where you want to run. So it's, you know, once you pass the line of scrimmage, it's right trigger, and left stick where you want to run. The left trigger is what, you know, triggers the speed boost, right? And so you can speed boost multiple times. You see how I do it once, I do it twice, I do it 3 times, I try to do it again 4 times, and some boosts are going to be better than others. I would always recommend that you're changing directions when you're trying to boost. So don't boost the same way back-to-back times, but it's like, okay, take the handoff, boom, boost, and then go the other way, then turn back this way, and then go this way. Like, you see how the higher like his agility, the better he can kind of turn, and he's basically gliding on skates. So I mean, that's how you do it. Again, left trigger, right trigger, left stick where you're trying to run. But let me put a defensive field, because against a live defense, it's a little bit different. All right, so we have our live defense here in the field, and now when you're playing against a live defense, you have to actually read the lane. You can't just always run to the same spot, because the reality is there's going to be times where the lane's it just isn't open. Like on that first play, there was nowhere really for me to run until he tackled me for a loss. Right there, we were able to rip off a huge run. Right here, we see the gap. And what makes this speed boost so dangerous is you see the gap and you hit the hole. That's really the main advantage. Now, again, especially if you're calling like 0-1 trap, sometimes your guys just whiff, right? There's other good runs here in this game, right? Like if we call inside zone, you can speed boost out of inside zone too. Maybe that'll give you better blocking, and you're probably just gonna try to get out to the edge, right? Boom, speed boost with Gibbs, get out to the edge, and then it's like, if you want to, you could probably juke that man out spin. So that's why I say it's important to like chain these moves up together. But we go with it again. That's a great example of where that should have been a tackle in the loss against every single player in this game. But because I'm able to speed boost away from this man, I'm able to turn this into a first down, right? He's right there to make this play, but I just see the gap. And you also see how I kind of dumb out his pursuit angle, where he kind of shuffles his feet for a second. That's what the boost can do. Now I get to the spot, and now I, you know, cut it up field, and I'm able to turn that into a first down. So really, this is gonna allow you to not only rip off huge runs like this. Right now, I just have to make, oh my, that's just terrible stick. I should have ran up to him and spun. But it's like, now you can rip off even bigger gains, long touchdown runs, because you're able to speed boost. So really just find your gap, left trigger, right trigger, left stick where you're trying to run, and always remember that the left trigger is what triggers a speed boost, and never speed boost in the same direction more than once. All right, the last updated tip that you need to master is actually how to stop RPOs here in Madden 26. There's a really easy way to identify an RPO, and I'm going to show you the defense to shut it down. All right, so stopping RPOs, something that a lot of people struggle with, but here's the solution. All right, so you have to identify an RPO is coming. If we look at the offense's play art right here, you're going to notice something very critical, that Ashton Genty is the A button. He's also going to be X on PlayStation, right? And so really, when that's the case, that's a dead giveaway that it's an RPO. Not every single RPO gives you that tell, but when they do, now a lot of them do, but when they do give you that tell, you know an RPO is coming. So really what you need to do, press D-pad right twice, then press, you know, A here in this case, flick the right stick up. Now you're going to open the man coverage menu, and so now you're going to be able to see all of these buttons. You wouldn't be able to do that before. But again, Once you identify that the halfback is A on Xbox, X on PlayStation, now you know for about 95% certainty an RPO is coming. All right, and so now that you know an RPO is coming, you don't actually need to man up the running back. You can close the menu. Instead, what you need to do is just set up the right defense to stop RPOs, which is going to be hard flatting. I always like being in a cover 3 defense. So you're going to put hard flats in the field. You're going to man up their slot receiver. So it's going to be something like this, or whoever you think's going to be getting the ball. Sometimes it's like the tight end. Sometimes it's like a post route. Whoever you think's going to be getting the ball, you're going to man that guy up. So obviously with this particular play, like if they're in like a 2x2 formation or a trick formation, you're pretty much just going to assume the slot receiver's getting the ball. So again, D-pad right twice, A, then press A and then flick right stick up. Do the tell. The tell is now confirmed. So now I can man up the slot receiver here. And so now that pass is going to be taken away. Not only do we have hard flats in the field, so that time our hard flat breaks on it and we're able to intercept it and probably return it for a touchdown. But also our, linebacker who was manned up on the guy was there to make a play as well. So both these guys are here. If they had an extra blocker, the blocker would probably block one of the guys. And so then, we would still have another guy to come in free. So you're essentially making it to where they can't throw this pass. Now, understand that this is an RPO. And so that means that this is also, there's going to be a run aspect to this play. And so you really have to be ready to stop the run. So again, boom, set up the same way. And really the best way to stop the run is going to be using the gap shoot method. So you're going to stand 4 yards over the guard on the halfback side, set the defense up the same way, man that guy up, shade underneath, pass commit by pressing RB and then right stick up. And so now when we take the snap, you're trying to loop around and dive tackle the ball carrier. Now, you certainly want to have heat seek or assist turned on in your coaching adjustments. That's going to make this a whole lot easier for you. But again, man this guy up, shade underneath. Now you're going to stand 4 yards over the guard on the halfback side. And what you're going to notice is you're just going to have the easiest lane to run in free right behind that guy. So, it's really easy to stop RPOs. You just have to identify it's an RPO because realistically, they could call RPOs on any play. Some popular formations, though, are bunch tight end weak, Y off trips, right? There's a whole bunch of different RPO heavy formations, but you first have to defend the RPO, right? By having your hard flat, by having this guy manned up, pass committing, and then looping around and shooting the gap. It's a little bit easier to actually defend RPO runs, to defend RPO runs than actual run plays because you can see some of these guys are blocking for the pass element, but then you just running completely free using the gap shoot technique that we've talked about all the time. So really stopping RPOs, do the RPO check to see if the running back is the A button on Xbox, X on PlayStation, man the guy up, pass commit your defense, and then be ready to stop the run with another user defender. All right, so if you found any of those 5 updated tips helpful here in Madden 26, you're going to take them into your next game. Make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. I break down Madden 26 tips and tricks for you guys every single day. You don't want to miss out on any of the content. But again, if you want all 5 of these tips in written form to save on your phone during gameplay so you never lose access to anything, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to join Madden University, where your first month is only going to be $1. It's really a no-brainer. It's going to transform the way you understand this game here in Madden 26, and I can't wait to help you out. But if you want to see 5 tips to transform your offense specifically, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.